the time has now come to suspend my campaign. I said I wanted Americans to have their voices heard. I have done that. I have no regrets. And although I will no longer be a candidate, I will not stop using my voice for the things I believe in. In all likelihood, Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee when our party convention meets in July. I congratulate him and wish him well. I wish anyone well who would be America's president. Our country is too precious to let our differences divide us. I have always been a conservative Republican and always supported the Republican nominee. But on this question, as she did on so many others, Margaret Thatcher provided some good advice when she said, quote, "Never just follow the crowd. Always make up your own mind."
Hello. It's Wednesday and it's time for Pop and Politics. We are talking about the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ, along with my amazing co-hosts. We have Crystal Jenkins. Hey guys. We have T.
What's up?
And Shelly E.
Hi.
All right. Join the conversation by leaving a comment on YouTube or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. If you miss us on YouTube, listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the same name, Pop and Politics. We are also on Rumble. We are an independent media, and if you want to support what we do, we appreciate the donations. We appreciate the super chatters. Certainly, we love it. Thank you guys so much. This is just not a podcast. As I've mentioned before, this is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that understand we are living in an urgent times. And there's a target on all of our backs. All because we choose freedom.
Yep.
So, and you know what? We got to stand up against it. Let's stand together. So subscribe, and together we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off.
Yes, it's a good day today.
Yes, it is.
Super Tuesday.
Right.
What are you drinking? Trump.
Yes.
MAGA.
Let's
go. Ew, did you goggle with it too?
Oh my God. Yeah, we are excited today. Today is Wednesday, the day after Super Tuesday, and you know Crystal is a MAGA-loving patriot.
And
she loves
Trump.
Drinking apparently. And so, you know, the results are in. A day after the Supreme Court issued a 9-0 ruling spanking Colorado Dems for trying to unconstitutionally remove Donald Trump from the ballot, the former president swept through Super Tuesday with significant wins over his remaining rival and all but secured a third trip as the GOP's presidential nominee. Yeah. So he won every state that had a primary at the time outside of Vermont. But at the time this was written, Trump won a whopping 731 delegates, bringing his total to 1,004 out of the required 1,000. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Right around the corner.
What? Oh, out of the 1,215 to win the presidential nomination. So I want to go to Shelly tonight. I want to start off with you. We start the show off with Nikki Haley's suspension speech. She's suspending her campaign. In your eyes, why didn't she endorse Trump? And do you think she'll eventually endorse him?
Well, actually, I feel sorry for Nikki Haley. It's Women's History Month, and she had to make history by suspending her campaign.
Yes.
As the Republican nominee, one of the nominees anyway. So why did she not endorse Trump? Because she's a coward. She's a coward. I think as much courage as she's shown to run against him, I think it was a cowardly slight to not endorse him. And then to add, I think she mentioned Eleanor Roosevelt or whomever she mentioned.
Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher, I don't think would have done that. So yes, you can make up your own mind. It's America. God bless her. But I think what she did was cowardly. And I think she's going to regret it. I think her time in the Republican Party as a quote unquote leader or someone to look up to, I think she pretty much put the nail in that coffin today.
All right.
I don't
Let's
know.
get your thoughts on that, Crystal. I mean, was that a dignified suspension speech?
I didn't hate it. I did not. So, okay, you're talking to somebody who just wanted her gone. Like, seriously, I just wanted her out the race. And so I feel like I would have been even more offended if she tried to, like, say, after all the damaging things that she tried to say about Trump and then, like, just really trying to hurt him. I think I would have been really annoyed if all of a sudden she said, oh, he's the best president ever. I do think that she was very classy in her approach because she said, which is very true whether you like it or not, she said, I wish him well. He is going to have to earn my supporters' votes. And that's just the truth, right? And I think that he's up to it. But the fact of the matter is he doesn't need Nikki Haley's endorsement. He doesn't. He doesn't need
the votes.
He needs the votes and he'll get the votes.
Yeah,
and I
he
think
needs the
she
votes.
said correctly he needs to earn them and he will. But he doesn't need her endorsement. Like, she's lame. Nimrata.
I want to get your thoughts, T. You're a mom. You are,
I'm a mom. I'm just trying to see where you're going with this.
right. I want to get your thought because that's the moms, the conservative mothers are a big voting bloc and one that he's had a hard time reaching. And a lot of conservative moms were supporting Nikki Haley. Of course. So I want to get your thoughts. I mean, where did her voters go? Do you believe that he needed her endorsement or would it have helped him if she had endorsed him?
Not at all. He doesn't need her endorsement. And see, this is the reason why women should not be the president of the United States. Because that was an emotional, you say classy, I say an emotional response. And it's so womanly to talk like that. Like, I wouldn't want my president talking like that. So she did the right thing. She's where she's supposed to be, in the back of the line with all of us who need to get on the voting block.
Yeah, but she's a woman, though. I mean,
yeah, that's why we don't want a woman.
But what I'm saying is her response was appropriate. Yeah. She's a woman, even though half of the time she can't figure out what is a woman. You remember she can't answer the trans question.
I don't think her response was inappropriate. I thought it was very classy, presidential, if you will. However, he may not need her endorsement, but Trump does need her voters and that voting block or class of people. He really does. And Trump is not really one to go out and earn the vote. He doesn't really feel that need. He's charismatic. I mean, he will be engaging, but to earn it the way that she is implying that he has to, he is not one to do that to that degree. I don't think he's going to ignore those votes or those voters.
I was about to say, what do you consider earning it?
He's going to have to go out basically to those voters and plead, quote unquote, his case, why they should vote for him. He's not necessarily one to do it to the level, maybe if you want to call it, I don't know, begging or groveling. He's going to state his case, but he's also, this is a hard block to reach, like KJ was talking about. This conservative women in general. Well, maybe they're mostly white. They may be mostly white, mostly soccer moms. Yeah, they might be a little sedity, but he still needs their votes.
Well, my question.
Why wouldn't he have their votes already if they're conservative moms?
That's how I feel.
That's how I think. I believe you. I agree with you, but they don't. But he doesn't.
Okay, then vote for Joe Biden.
In 2020, he didn't get their support either.
No, he did not. And that's my thing. And I'm surprised most of you saying this because me being, I'm not like the most excited Trump supporter. I mean, I'm going to vote for him. But I thought her suspension speech was awful. First of all, I don't understand what she meant by Trump should go out and earn the voters when this is the most important election of our lifetime. After she dropped out, there's nobody else for him to earn but between Biden and Trump. So what is she saying? She's actually saying that people, her voters, should consider voting for Biden.
And she said
that's the awful thing to do. That's an awful thing to say when we know how much is on the line, when we know that there's a huge difference between Trump and Biden.
Exactly.
Why would you say that? The only obvious person to vote for would be Trump.
She should have been clear.
Or not vote.
She should have been clear. No, not voting is a vote for Biden. I know that doesn't make sense. No, it's not okay. But second, that's our opinion. But she should have been a little bit more clear and specific to say to her voters, support the Republican nominee.
She doesn't have to.
She doesn't have
She
to.
does not
She doesn't
have
have
to.
to. Nobody
She
does.
just made it very clear that she is in for herself. She's a Nimrod, you guys. I don't understand what we expect
And
from
then
her.
voters are going to be that way too.
Exactly. And so my issue is that, okay, if we think that she's going to somehow guide her voters into voting for Trump, first of all, if they are conservative, as they said, like you said, there's no other option but to
Wait
vote
a minute.
for Trump. However,
No.
No.
But she doesn't have to tell them that.
She doesn't have to tell them, but as a primary, as a conservative, as a Republican,
Exactly.
you would think she would say, hey, you know what? I fought a good fight.
Exactly.
I stayed in way too long. Well, I mean, anyway, I stayed in as long as I could, even though I lost California, I lost my own home state, I lost Iowa, I lost New Hampshire. She stayed in way too long, but whatever. She stayed in. She should say, you know what? I gave it a good fight. Trump believed in me and picked me as his UN ambassador. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to endorse Trump.
She said
because
it
we
was
have
classy
too
for
much
her.
on the line
Exactly.
right now.
That would
She
have been
said-
way too big of a person of her.
Well,
You said she was classy.
I said her speech was classy. I think she's a Nimrod. I think she's dumb. I've always thought she was dumb. Even when Vivek was calling her out, I even did a video on her being dumb. I don't expect anything from Nikki Haley than what we got.
She said exactly what she meant to say.
Right,
She
yeah.
said,
It was a- I
if
think it
any
was a-
whoever
it was
wins,
poorly
I'll
done.
support. It ain't gonna be Trump. Well, I'm not gonna support Trump, but
That's what
whoever
she said.
wins, vote for Biden.
Exactly.
And
I thought
so
it
we
was
have
terrible.
But we have a whole, I don't know if we call it a whole block. We have I'm going to say a lot of conservatives that also believe and think that if Trump is not the nominee, they're not going to vote for Biden, but they're not going to vote. We need voters. We need Republicans to show up at the polls.
Yeah, we do.
But I'm hearing
That's
that a lot.
to me. That's the old school thinking. I am not, and I repeat. If she was the nominee, I would not vote, and there would be nobody that can make me do it.
Okay.
And you can tell me, oh, a vote for her.
Nope.
I mean, a not vote for her is a vote for. But I don't care.
Nope.
We are not at a time right now that we have to vote our values, and there's no way that I'm going to vote against my values, and she is against my values.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's a woman.
All
I will
right.
never vote again for a woman for the president of the United States.
Me either.
All right. So there we are. So a lot on the line. Speaking of that, tomorrow, our current resident in chief is giving the State of the Union. He will be pushing out the State of the Union.
State of disunion?
Yeah, the State of Disunion, right, Shelley? And so we may definitely come on, depending on our schedules. We may try to come on and do a live broadcast of that. Not so much to hear what he has to say, but to see if we can count how many gaffes he makes during this speech. So, what are you expecting anything from this speech tomorrow?
Can he even lie?
Yeah, this is what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, I might need something to stay up because that's all I'm expecting. Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it. I don't even care.
I have to watch it only because I just have to. I can't believe what people are like. I see the clips, but I actually have to see him stand up and talk. Because you guys, did y'all see the clip that happened yesterday where he was sitting at the and he literally was like, I can't answer any questions.
on drugs.
They're gonna get they literally shook him with drugs.
Of course.
And
Talk about it
I
when
have
he
to watch it.
walks.
I have to watch it, you guys.
Yeah, that's what I said. We're gonna
on the
count
same-
the gaffes and see, what
Okay.
what King Theoden from Lord of the Rings gives out for tomorrow. So
And the lies with the straight face. I don't know why they keep telling us the economy is good, you guys.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I want to take a look at this. This talking about the lies that they spew. Take a look at this. This clip is from MSNBC. These their pundits talking about the Virginia primary voters.
Increasingly, from the Tea Party on, they're voting on race. They're voting on this idea of an invasion of brown people over the border. The idea that they can't get whatever job they want. A black person got it, therefore drive all the blacks out of the colleges, get rid of DEI. That is what they're voting on. They're just voting specifically on racial animus. At this stage, it isn't about economics.
Which is why Trump killed the immigration bill.
Correct.
That's why. And because otherwise, he can't run against the other and brown people and people who don't look like him, like his supporters, his base of supporters, coming across the border and scaring people and killing people or whatever he's threatening out there. I mean, if you look at some of these exit polls, I mean, I live in Virginia. Immigration was the number one issue. I mean, again, these could change in Virginia.
Well, Virginia does have a border with West Virginia. Very contested area. Build the wall.
Like, what?
Wow.
Well, I don't even know.
So, I mean, first of all, it's really, really poor taste for them to laugh when we just had a 22-year-old Georgia student, Laken Riley, was brutally killed by an illegal immigrant in Georgia. And the lies that they spew, that it's lies because the Democrats in New York City are passed a bill, or at least attempting to pass a bill to make it legal for illegal immigrants to vote. Yep. So how'd they get all the way to New York City?
Because they got it from Maryland and Montgomery County.
Exactly.
Sure.
I mean, how dare they, Shelley?
How dare they? Again, Laken Riley, God bless her family. But not only that, the other immigrants other Americans that have been murdered and harmed by illegal immigrants, they can laugh because they don't give a damn, because they live in their protected bubbles, and so it's not really affecting them. And then they make these laws, or the lack thereof, for the rest of us who they think we're supposed to follow.
I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal. I mean, do you think it's a situation where they really believe what they're saying, or are they trying to convince Americans that immigration is not an issue?
Yeah, and with the Laken Riley thing, like, there's nothing that they could ever do that would take away the feeling of losing her. So I definitely don't think tit for tat is the way to go. But I hear your emotion. What I will say is that these people are so detached from what their constituents are, and unfortunately they are so caught up in their skin color. Like, Joy, you've made it. You're not pretty. You have a blonde wig, and you're on MSNBC. You went to the best of schools. Didn't she go to Ivy League?
I think she went to Harvard.
She went to Harvard, and you made it. So stop saying that this has something to do with, because I'm telling you, I could have found somebody who looks better than you, who is smarter than you, that could have made it and made better decisions and speak better than you. But you made it. And you keep saying that white people care about race. Like, you have all those white people sitting up there listening to you spout this foolishness.
Yeah. T, what are your thoughts on their comments?
To be honest with you, like, I'm so tired of these people.
Yes.
I'm really, like, the nonsense that they put out and spew out of their mouths. Like, who really believes this? I know people do, but the fact that people do just shows us what we're working with here and what we're fighting against. And I just don't understand where they get these thoughts from. Like who are they, when they're thinking and talking, who are they thinking about? Who are they talking to?
Well, I think they're trying to convince Americans that it's not an issue. But we know, I mean, Pew Research just came out with a poll, I believe it came out yesterday or the day before, talking about independent voters believe that immigration is the number one issue.
It is the number one.
Right. Of course it is.
Yeah,
and so they are trying to push back against this, knowing, because they know with Biden, the border is on his lap. Everybody knows it's his fault. He gave 12 executive orders when he first entered office, reversing all of the border and immigration laws that Trump had pushed out. It's all of his fault. And so every time something like this happens, all they can do is say, it's not happening. Right. That's all they can
blame
say.
the Republicans.
Or blame, that's what I was about to say.
And that's not working.
Or doing the switcheroo. And I don't know. I don't know if it's not working, you guys. I mean,
it's working for at least half the country.
It's working, and they just figure if they can continue to say it, then they'll make it to be real. That's why I tell Republicans, like, as much as you can, do not allow them to put this on our lap.
And
Like,
before you, I'm sorry,
Okay,
Charlie, before you start, I do want to acknowledge a
Oh.
super chatter tonight.
Thunderball.
Yes.
Thunderball McGillicuddy.
Nolte again.
You're back. Thank
Yes,
so good.
thank you. We are going to actually name next week's segment after you. You've been so sweet. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate it.
That they want to sponsor a segment like our listeners have. You want
Yeah,
to
this
sponsor a
is
segment?
no
We
longer
love it.
right. This is no longer pop and politics. This is Thunderbolt McNulty. McNulty show.
So I want to attempt to answer T's question when you said, who believes it, right? Let me answer. I'm going to answer it with a question. If your children are being slaughtered, your children are being not educated but indoctrinated with a whole lot of foolishness, evil. If your children being messed over, and that's the nicest way I can put it. If that doesn't get you riled up, what will?
Yeah.
What will?
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it more towards the end of the segment. How actually illegal immigration is affecting education right here in Baltimore, and sure it's affecting education across the country in cities across the country. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But one more clip from the fallout of Super Tuesday. Take a look at this. This is clip 3. This is Ebony K. Williams and once again Joyless Reid talking about why white women vote for Trump.
Oh, Lord.
I think people really have to understand that what we maybe as black women or as black people see as against white women's autonomy or even their economic interests. If you're a white woman in America, Joy, and you still feel that your best chance to provide for yourself and your children lies in the upholding of the patriarchy, the upholding of a white supremacy system that allows for whiteness to stand atop any other identity in this nation, then yes, actually you would argue that it is very much in your interest to uphold and support a president who has made it his top agenda item to keep those things in place. That's my rant on white women, and now I'll move on. Final question. 2020 looks like it will be a rematch of President Biden and Trump. What do you expect the outcome to be? I know you don't have a crystal ball, Joy, but you're very, very steeped on this stuff.
Well, and just to your point, to put a punctuation on your point, W.E.B. Du Bois called that the wages of whiteness and said that the greatest trick in America was to convince white Americans with no money that they didn't need money and economic power. What they needed was whiteness, and whiteness itself is a wage better than actual dollars in your pocket. And that has worked every single time for decades and centuries. But yes, on the question of Trump v. Biden, it is the race that some people are saying nobody wants. There are Biden fans for sure, and there are Trump fans for sure. I'm not discounting them. But overall, I think the electorate is exhausted. I think people are tired. And I think if there was some alternative to this duo, people would take it. We'll see if that happens.
What nonsense. What nonsense. Oh my gosh. I do want to acknowledge Super Chatty Thunderball McGillicuddy.
Another thank you. Love you, ladies. Rest in peace. Lake and Riley. Americans stand together. Love you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Rest in peace, Lake and Riley. And there is mention that Speaker Johnson may have her family at the State of the Union address tomorrow. So that might be something. But speaking of Americans standing together, this kind of talk from people like this is so infuriating. What are your thoughts on this, Shelley?
They are fixated on white people. That's who they make their standards and their whatever, their thought processes. They are fixated and obsessed. In psychology, they call it an obsession and maybe a compulsion, if you will. But it's certainly an obsession. White people drive them literally. Whatever they think, whatever they do, they really are almost like cogs based on what they think white people think about them. And they're going to white people because what it is, they're really afraid. They are very afraid because a lot of black people, particularly black men, are leaving. That's really what they're afraid about. But what they go back to? They go back to the old white supremacy, white privilege argument. And that's all they had. They are consumed with white people.
I want to ask you, Crystal, because is it really an obsession with white people, or is it a grift? Are they just trying to use that as a weapon?
I've been around black folks all my life, and black folks love white folks.
Yes, they
White
do.
folks are just trying to live their lives. They trying to take care of their kids. They trying to work their job. They trying to pay their bills. And black folks is constantly like edging, like want to sit at their restaurant. You don't like me? You don't want to hire me? You don't like me? You don't want my kids to play with you? Like, and they're like, I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, go play. White people are so confused at this point because it's like they don't know how to show black folks that they accept them.
They don't know.
They don't even know how else to show them. And so for them to sit there and then start talk about white people and white women and the patriarchy, like, first of all, the matriarchy in the black community, it don't work, Ebony K. It don't work. So the least that you guys can do is acknowledge that, and maybe y'all love white folks so much. How about you start doing it like that? Go get married.
Like white
Go get married. How about you stay at home and take care of your kids and stop sending them to public school?
Like white people.
Like white people. How about you do that? How about you clean up your neighborhood like white people? How about clean your trash? How about we do all of those things?
Like white people.
Thank you.
I'm just furious at the fact that she's relating patriarchy with white supremacy. Like, where, how?
That's like the Marxist way. Like, what's her name? Patrice Cullors?
Yeah, Patrice Cullors, yeah.
Whatever.
Like, if that's the case, then it's a good thing. White supremacy is a good thing, guys, because we're very patriarchal. We should be a patriarchal society,
right?
Because that's what works. That's the way it was intended.
Thank you. That's what works.
Yeah. It's again, we have this obsession right now on the left. It's not even say an obsession. It's a hatred of men. Yeah. I mean, and the patriarchy and men being strong and masculine. They don't like it, and it's very weird. And I guess, and this is why they continue to try to break down families because they're supposed to be led by men, and they don't like that. They try to break down the church that's supposed to be led by male pastors, and they try to get and again they try to break down the America, which was led by men, and they don't like it, and it's really sad, and we can see how it is destroying America, destroying our society, destroying our culture, and they continue to push it.
Exactly, and I think it was
white supremacy.
I know. I think it was Andrew Tate. That's my boy. I love him. But he actually said like there has not been a successful matriarchy. If there was one, even if there has not been
Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay. Yes, Wonder Woman. But he's like, even if there was societies that were ran by women, you don't even know about them because they were quickly and utterly destroyed. So the fact that we just somehow think that this matriarchy is somehow going to take us to the next level, like these women literally are what's wrong with the black community. I mean, serious.
So to bring it back to the last topic, white women, just vote for Trump. I mean, since they want to say that white women are this and that, like just vote for Trump and let's see how it works.
And that's your best bet anyway. I mean, they talk about, in the last segment we mentioned how MSNBC was talking about the immigration crisis is not a crisis and things like that. It is a crisis. And the fact that they're saying it's not should automatically push you towards not voting for them. Right. And then the real reason why white women and us and many other women are voting for Trump is because when he was in office, the economy was on track. Yeah. We weren't in endless wars, and endless foreign entanglements. And we had a president that could actually speak without saying, I'm going to get in trouble. So, I mean, it goes on and on.
And we were entertained. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. We were entertained.
Even single women had more money. And so
everybody.
Why would you not want him? If that's your main thing, economy, and whether or not you like Trump, you still have more money in your pocket.
Yeah,
why not?
But you know what? And you guys know that I'm diehard MAGA. I'm not in the business of convincing stupid people to vote their self-interest. Like, I mean, like if you're that stupid and you have seen how the 4 years has worked, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to vote for Trump, then don't. Just continue on the path that you're going, and you're going to see how destructive this man. We haven't even seen. They always say the best 4 years. You see the true 4 years of a president on their last 4 years. Can you imagine how bad 4 more years of Biden is.
Oh, it's going to be very bad.
He's gonna
Not
die.
only that, it doesn't matter
He's gonna
because
die, and then we're gonna have a black
Democrats will be in
the
power.
have a
person-
black woman president.
Right.
Ew.
We have a
I'm
lot
leaving.
at stake in this
Yeah.
next election.
yeah.
I mean, it's not even funny. It's not even a situation where we can joke about it. Because if he is elected again, or if he is president again, I should say, he will have a mandate.
Yep.
There will be a mandate. He will feel that there's a mandate to run shop. And not only do we have an issue with him being the presidency, but the Congress. I mean, the way things are going, we barely have a majority in the House.
Exactly.
They already have the Senate. So can you imagine if you had a Democratic president and they control both houses? I mean, this country, you think it's bad now, we would not be the same country ever again.
Well,
Kill all the lawyers.
No,
I'm violent tonight.
conservatives get as strong as possible and get as rich as possible because
That doesn't matter.
Self-interest.
Yes,
That wouldn't matter.
Yes, it will. Yes, it.
Needs to be
does.
independent.
Oh, because you have people like Senator Warren, who is trying to tax the wealth. She's trying to punish you
What
for
I'm
making
saying-
money.
what I'm
It
saying
will-
You money.
You have options when you are strong and healthy and wealthy. And that's what conservatives need to be able to do. Because let me tell you, when this hits the fan,
Look, I just want to know: are the Quakers or the Mormons? Are they accepting applications? Because they're going to be the last one standing.
The Amish people.
Or the Amish people.
I mean, I don't even know if
I need
that's-
some friends with
I
the
don't
Quakers.
even know if they'll be around because right now
They're
you
gonna
see
leave.
a concerted effort by the left to get rid of rural areas. They're getting rid. We're going to talk about this a little later on in the show. They're trying to get rid of cars. They don't like people who are self-sufficient. They are going to ruin and try to destroy any and everyone that wants any type of freedom. This is not a joke. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's all hands on deck right now. We need to do everything we can to get Trump elected. And this is why I was so upset about Nikki Haley's speech. Because as much as we have on the line, and she did not endorse Trump, she actually basically said that you have an option. You should, maybe do Biden, maybe, it makes no sense.
Look, when I said earlier that I think about, these are some of the thoughts that I feel like they need to do. We need to just go bomb, whatever. The White House, yes, I said it again, whoever's upset. This is the thing. This is a concerted effort to destroy our country, to turn everything upside down, and to get us fighting each other. They want us to fight. So how do you fight back? You have to prepare.
Right.
You have to fortify your people, your communities, your home. You have to prepare for battle. This is not about looking cute and, dressing up in the finest linens and all. This is a battle. We are in a battle or even a war. Yes, we need to fight back and get.
Absolutely. That's our rallying call, guys. Be aware and prepare. So that's what we're saying. We've been saying it since the beginning of the year. As you mentioned, Crystal, it's really not about changing hearts and minds as much. It's really about waking up the lions.
Yes.
The people.
the sheep. Because y'all can stay with y'all vaccines, all of y'all vaccinated, jabbed up. Y'all stay over there. We don't know if y'all gonna start growing 3 elbows in
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So
But
I know that we have listeners in the UK and Australia and all these different countries. Save me a room. If President Biden wins, save me a room. I got 3 children. We coming.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
We coming.
All right, so we are moving on to our next topic. Still talking about the fallout from yesterday's Super Tuesday. Well, actually, this happened prior to Super Tuesday. These, again, are people with TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley. This is clip 4. Take a look.
Even Charles is.
Big sigh.
First of all,
sigh.
I'm just going to say this. If I see a black person walking around with Trump mugshot, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Charles,
No, Gail.
Charles,
Gail.
you really can't say that because A, you don't mean that.
I mean that sincerely. I'm going to just tell you something.
And then you will be arrested for assault. And then what?
I'm going to bail
then what?
myself out and go celebrate. If I no,
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Okay, but go ahead.
Seriously.
Continue.
First of all, if I was at
that conference,
I'd have got up and walked out. That was an insult to all black people. Because he's basically just saying, and first of all, to compare black history where we've been discriminated against to his plight.
Yes.
Well, first of all, he's a billionaire. And they're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. They're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. And for him to
It's still in the court system, Charles. We have to wait. It's still in the court system. But continue.
Well,
continue.
Some of the stuff is true. They did storm the Capitol. They did say that the election was stolen. Those aren't lies, Gail. Those are
They
facts.
did say that. They did
okay.
say that.
But to compare, I would have got up and walked out because it's not a fair comparison. You know, he's a billionaire. He's had a great life. He's been president of the United States. To insult black people who have been discriminated against all these years, to put them in the same category, I was just offended.
What is he talking about?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, Shelly, what is
First of all, he ain't fear-mongering me. I mean, he ain't scared me, black people. What he's talking about? I don't know what he's talking about.
I can't understand what he's saying.
I don't know, right? Because so what? He's a billionaire. You are, I don't know, a multi-millionaire. Maybe you're a billionaire if you include your assets. But Trump did not offend me. He made me laugh. He makes me laugh at that comment. He's talking about the BCF.
I think he's talking about when he was talking to a room full of.
This is ludicrous.
Black
That's kind of different, Shelly.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is very much
I'm telling you my thoughts. This is still America. I'm going to say it again. This is what I'm thinking, what I feel sometimes.
Can't say the B
1A. And that's what I think about sometimes. I don't do it, but he said he's going to do that. Actions and thoughts, very different.
Well, what are your thoughts on here, Crystal, and what he said? I mean, he's referring to when Trump was talking to the Black Conservative Federation, a room full of over 300 black Republicans that love Trump. No one was offended, but these Trump derangement syndrome Democrats. I mean, what is going on?
Yeah, like athletes are not leaders. I mean, like this dude, he goes wherever the wind blows. Like seriously, like I've seen. I've seen him talk about black people and the issues facing Black America, and like he's kind of called us out. Oh, now all of a sudden he's all bliggity black. Like him saying that he's trying to be Mr. Tough Guy. Fact of the matter is, Mr. Barkley, right here. I would take that hit any day, bro.
Shit.
Because let me tell you something. This is about to get paid, sir. So you're not phasing anybody. I mean, like, oh, you have a MAGA shirt on. Like, yeah, this is the pettiness that black people have become. Like, why does that bother you? Nobody cares. Like, if you don't like Trump, or you don't like the MAGA, or you don't like the mugshot, like, that's okay. We're all adults. Move on. But if you're giving out punches, sir, I will.
And you get paid for it.
Yeah, and not only that,
I sign myself up.
But are we able to punch Stacey Abrams? I mean, Stacey Abrams did the exact same thing. She denied the election, and nobody, you didn't hear about conservatives talking about punching her.
Exactly.
Same thing with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
She denied the election. Nobody wanted
Al Gore.
Al Gore.
Talk about Al Gore.
Right. Hillary Clinton, nobody wanted to pull her pantsuit down.
And when did it become illegal and something that you can be prosecuted for expressing your opinion about election denial or whatever? Why? So what? You don't agree with the election, or you think it was stolen? So what? When did that become illegal? It's still the First Amendment. You are allowed in America to express your opinion, even if it's wrong, even if it's a lie. You can still express your opinion.
But I want to get T in here.
Okay. So look, I want to say this to Charles Can't Talk Barkley, and actually a lot of people on the left, or think they're on the left or whatever, because they keep saying that Trump was convicted of something.
Right.
And I'm like, aren't we supposed to be on the system of innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah, we are. But Tyrone said last night is guilty until proven guilty.
But I'm saying that when they try to, they're conveniently and contradictingly accusing Trump of the same thing that they're accusing the system of.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like, pick a side. You want to accuse the system, or you want to play like Trump is the baddest, the worst guy ever. Like,
Yeah, and
it's a justifiable comparison what President Trump said.
Yeah, the issue that he's talking about is he's trying to make it somehow like he's speaking for black elites, that the mugshot t-shirt is bothersome. But Suki Hana and Sexy Red and the little girls dancing, like saying, hands on your knees. That's not offensive to these people. You won't go and punch the mama in the face
or the father.
Or the father in the face for all the degeneracy that we see online. Oh, but you somehow get mad at a Trump. Boy, bye. Have several seats. It's the pseudo kind of like
it's a selective fakery.
Yes, exactly. Righteousness.
Right.
The pseudo righteousness. Sir,
thing.
you don't care anything about the black
None of them
community.
do.
Zero.
Yeah, zero. All right.
They care more about the immigrants than they do the black community.
Right.
Yeah, because they
illegal immigrants
in their mansions.
Right. Yeah. And we
They're
do
not Trumps, but
That's exactly
the fake
right.
Trumps.
yeah, the generic Trumps, but they're white, not red.
Well, we are moving right along. Speaking of black community, we're moving to Baltimore right here. So we want to talk about a story local to Baltimore, but this could be happening in cities across the country. Two Baltimore residents, Giovanni Patterson and his wife, are suing Baltimore City Public School System. Take a look at this video.
Hey guys, this is Reason. What you're about to experience is a Pop and Politics exclusive about the ongoing lawsuit with the Baltimore City Public School Systems. This is a first take breaking news story. Check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what's
Yeah, that was good. Yes. So, as he mentioned, this is breaking news. So, Baltimore is a sorry. So, the public school system, Giovanni Patterson and his wife are suing Baltimore City Public School System and alleging the school system misused taxpayer funds, reported ghost students, children not actually enrolled in order to gain more funding, falsified pupils' records to push failing students through to graduation, and more. So their suit names Baltimore City School Board of Commissioners, City Council, and Mayor Brandon Scott as defendants. Baltimore has the fourth highest funded large school system in the nation, behind only New York, Boston, and Washington, D.C. Charm City's school budget increased 16% this school year, actually last school year, according to the city. And all that money, approximately $21,600 per student, isn't adding up to better outcomes. Baltimore had the lowest graduation rate across Maryland during the last school year. At one high school, 77% of students read at an elementary or kindergarten level. So they're bringing this lawsuit, this Baltimore City couple, alleging that the school system misused taxpayer funds. And this week, or recently, depositions came out from this lawsuit, and they were shocking. I want to get your first thoughts on this, Shelley.
Well,
so what are some of the things you felt came out of the depositions?
Claptrap, bureaucracy, bloat, overreach. They were saying, much ado about nothing. The bottom line is that the children are still failing, if they're not just totally fail, and it's almost no redemption for them. But this is just administration after administrator who are milking the system. Again, they're using our children to get the attendance on September the 30th so they can get the whole basically $22,000 for the rest of the school year. It's bloat. I think we need to see the organizational chart, because you can see just how many layers of people that's putting forth these policies, whatever they may be, this administration, this bureaucracy, and it's getting us nowhere. In fact, what it is getting us more students who are winding up down on Guilford Avenue, Greenmount Avenue, at Central Booking, and all of the different bookings around the state. They're going to jail. They're carjacking. They're committing more and more crimes. They are not learning a damn thing. And your taxpayer dollars, ours, are paying for this foolishness. These people do not need to be in the positions that they're in. This is
Sue,
are you in the show? Okay.
It needs to just blow up. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Can't say that.
I guess my sincerest thoughts with this situation is, and I'm just gonna talk to the parents. Like, I'm concerned that he is the only family that's doing this. Like, we need to really rally. Like Mr. Patterson, we know him well, but the fact that other parents haven't started jumping on. If you understand what this means that you are essentially paying with your tax dollars and to make your children worse. You're sending them somewhere that's unsafe for them, that they're not learning. They come, they went in there with an attitude problem and they come out with a drug problem. Like, these are
Exactly.
really, really. So to me, I believe that some of these, like, where are the other parents? Like, where are the other parents that are, jumping in on this and saying, hey, I want to do this too. And I understand that Baltimore is struggling with, literacy and some other issues, but we got some parents that got some good sense. And so I guess my hope from this segment is that this will probably go viral and people figure out, how can I help? And this is not just in Baltimore. I mean, in New York City and Chicago, a lot of these school systems, your kids are not learning. You're sending your kids there. You're paying to send those kids there. And then some people say, oh, well, Crystal, private school, you have to pay. Like, what do you think you're doing with public school? You're paying for that. And it shouldn't be acceptable anywhere on this planet.
What are your thoughts here, T? Before we begin, I do want to acknowledge our super chatters here. Speaking of T, we have Danny Joe. Girl in green looks frogalicious tonight.
And I will jump.
Who is he talking about? Me? Oh, green. Oh, T.
Really? Are you colorblind?
No, I know. I'm just joking.
And I will.
We also have
Krista.
Krista.
Thank you, Johnny. What's her name? Danny Joe?
Oh, Krista, she says, few of us in here hoping you do a live for the SOT address. We are going to do it. Drinking game idea. Drink every time Biden lies. Love and honey to my pop family.
Oh, yeah, we'll be drunk.
Yeah, oh my gosh, we would be. Yeah, well, that's a good idea, Krista. We may put that in. We may include that. But I want to get your thoughts on this the deposition that came out. Was there anything from the deposition in relation to Baltimore City schools that you felt was eye-opening?
As Shelley and I always say, follow the money. And they're following the money in their own pockets. Oh yeah, money green. They're following the money in their own pockets. The children aren't benefiting from this at all. And it's really sad. It's sad that these people that are in leadership position to take care of our children aren't doing that. And so I'm actually a parent ambassador for Ed Choice, and I'm starting to get a parent group to advocate for school choice in different states. Maryland, I'm starting with Maryland, obviously, because I live here. But this is what the parents need to get involved. Mm-hmm. And if I have to be the one to rally the parents, then I'll do that. Moms for Liberty is doing a great job, but they're a big organization at this point. We need parents in each county and each district to fight and do what Mr. and Mrs. Patterson are doing. If we got to come to your city, we got to come to your state, then we come in.
Yeah,
this is the blueprint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the most eye-opening things that I saw in the deposition was the amount of undocumented immigrants that are inside of Baltimore City Public Schools. The principals in these depositions talked immensely about that, talked about how they have so many undocumented immigrants. They have so many language issues, Spanish-speaking learners, influx of Spanish-speaking learners in high schools. These principals have an actual email thread or a thread where they try, when these people come in, then they try to push them out all across the city in order to get them where they need to be, because the schools are just so overrun. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then you contrast this with the immigration issues in New York, Chicago. Again, our tax dollars are going towards not American school children educating our kids, but it's going towards illegal immigrants. Our tax dollars are not meant to do that. Right. And so that's another way that our system is being defrauded because our tax dollars are going towards people that aren't even supposed to be in these schools. Right. And they've been covering it up.
Right. So in other words, and bottom line is that they make all of these provisions to place these illegal alien children, to place them wherever all over the city, better schools, maybe worse schools. But Americans who live here have to jump through hoops to get their child placed in a better school according to the child's needs.
Choice.
Right. They don't want school choice, but they will go through hell and high water to get these illegal immigrants placed at our expense, and then have the audacity. They try to hide it. They try to cover it up. They try to obfuscate all of the different words and all these different policies. It means nothing. At the end of the day, our children are not learning. American children, they're not learning. We are paying for it, and the school to prison pipeline, that's just growing. That's just growing.
And not only that, but our system is not set up for the amount, number one, the influx of illegal aliens coming into these schools, and number two, to teach non-English speaking, the amount of them, to teach them that's not set up to do this, nor did we sign up for it. As taxpayers, you sign up to pay for American kids. You don't sign up to pay for illegal immigrants. Right. I mean, it's just not right, especially this amount. And, you wonder what's going on because you always have to follow the money. Mm-hmm. And so is this a situation where Democrats are turning a blind eye to illegal immigrants being pushed into our schools, pushed into our medical system as well, the hospitals and things, because they're getting money for seats. They're getting money for bodies in these seats. Right. Well, is that the situation?
That's part of it. But it's also they are trying to build another class of voters. Mm-hmm. So not just for this election, certainly with the parents, but illegal votes, to mind you. But they're thinking forward, right? They're trying to build another class of voters to replace, I think, many of the black men in particular who are leaving the Democrat plantation. So they want to have this this quote unquote reproduction of classes so that they can have votes going forward. They want to upturn and destroy our country. They don't want this to be the United States of America. They want a totally different country, call it whatever they're going to call it. But these people are hell-bent on getting rid of America as we know it. Strap up.
Yeah. This is why we have to be aware and prepare, because when it comes to our children, Whitney Houston said it, the children are the future. Yeah. And they're teaching them what they want to teach them. Yep. And this is not the way that we want them to go. Yeah. Yeah. So we have to take strong holds, take this away from them, take the control away from them.
But
when it comes to children.
My issue with this is that, how sometimes, because I work in risk assessment, sometimes there are things that, small amounts of fraud or mistakes. Let's call it mistake at first. But then there's a situation where the people in power start to realize, this is a way I can really make money. Because at first, when we had a border, and we've always had immigration issues, but it's never been this bad. Where we have 7.4 million illegal immigrants. Right. Of course it is. Absolutely. And so, but now it sounds like this has become a grift. Because, again, you have these illegal immigrants, these illegal kids in the Baltimore City Public School education system. Bodies make money. The city population is shrinking. Right. But yet they continue to create these sanctuary cities to bring in illegal immigrants. Absolutely. And so the seats make money. So what? They put these illegal immigrants in these seats in these schools because they're getting paid for it via our tax dollars, which we didn't sign up for. Sounds like fraud to me.
Big time.
And they can barely educate the children that they have. Like that, I guess I don't.
You can when they want to.
I only care about I care about the children.
Well, it's not creating an environment conducive for education.
The teachers can barely speak English to the children. These kids can barely read in English, and now the kids that are coming in, they don't speak English, and so the teachers are having to stop everything that they're doing with the other kids to now attend to non-English speaking children, and the fact that, like I said, the fact that parents are not upset about it and joining in. I mean, like, seriously, money talks. And on it kind of like the pharmaceutical companies. If you had parents suing Baltimore school system to no avail. I mean, like, just suing them, $25,000 here, there, and everywhere, you would see a change. Right.
Well, look, we're seeing a disenfranchisement of Black and brown kids.
Yeah.
Now, and you don't see these Democrats, like the clips we showed earlier, they're not up in arms about the disenfranchisement of Black and brown kids due to the lack of environment and education due to the influx of these illegal immigrants. You don't see them upset about this. No. Why? Because they're getting paid to fill bodies. I mean, to fill seats.
Right.
To fill seats.
Your point, Crystal, the English, they don't want to teach them English. You know why? Because English represents the white supremacy, the white privilege. It represents, the nuclear family, all those American values. They don't want to teach them English. That's on purpose. That is on purpose. Not only that, I was listening to a report today as I was driving that the federal government has been flying people, illegal immigrants, into our country. They have been using
that's a conspiracy theory.
About 43 different airports. Nobody knows what these airports are, so they're probably military airports that they're flying into. Again, this is what I didn't read it. I was listening to it while I was driving. But the fact is that it's been more than 300-something thousand people from what this report was saying. So if you add that, they're flying them over the border from wherever they're coming from. They're coming in through the border in droves and by the millions. What we know that's less than what's being reported. So again, we are being taken for a ride. If we don't get riled up, if it's affecting our children, what will we get riled up for?
And not only that, but listen to this. I mean, we're talking about the hurdles that are presented due to the language barrier. But you take into consideration these children that have, been put through enormous trauma to get here. Mm-hmm. And then they're just pushed into schools. And then we think they're going to be able to thrive in this situation where they don't understand the language. They may be hungry. They may have all types of situations. They may even be trafficked, who knows? And that creates additional problems for the other children that are there that are American, that are there, that live in the area.
I don't even care about those illegal immigrant children, to be honest. The fact that they're actually closing down the schools for our children to house these people is like, it reminds me of, how you hear the stories about the dad who goes to the other family and he doesn't take care of his own children, but he takes care of the stepmom's children or the wife's children. It reminds me of that. Like, you're going to sit here and put away your children and neglect your children for somebody else's that you don't even know.
Right.
Like, it's insane.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, and excuse my language, and again, this is an adult show, but they say nothing's better than pussy, but new pussy. And so, this is what they say. And so these illegal immigrants are like the new pussy to Democrats.
Yeah. That, you know what? Yes, because you're right.
You exactly like the word.
No, I ain't never thought about it like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful. It's terrible.
Potential new votes.
Yeah, it's terrible. I do want to acknowledge a super chatter. We have another super chatter, Rita. She says, "You ladies rock." Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, this is something, and again, guys, I mean, I know we have viewers all over the country, but this can happen anywhere. It's probably already happening. Yeah, it already is.
It is happening.
So be on the lookout for this. It's happening all over the country. I want to acknowledge another super chatter we have here. All right, so here we have the super chatter. Let me see here.
That we're looking for it. Okay, we got all the super.
We got them all. Okay.
Super chatters, like Keja just said, we're sure that it's happening in your neighborhood. So send us your stories. We'd like to hear what's happening in your neighborhood.
You can sponsor a segment.
Oh, right.
Before we get there.
Right.
Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
Write us,
definitely.
call us. put it in the comments. So we'll read your comments. So let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Or you can email us info@metroconservativemedia.com. Definitely, you can email us and we'll share your stories. You know, if you have something you see going on within your city, within your town, and you want us to talk about it, we would love to talk about it and spotlight your area and dig more deeper into what's actually going on. So we're moving right along, talking about parents within the education system. I want to talk about the trans agenda. Parental rights has emerged as a top issue for Republicans in this 2024 election. And, basically what's occurring is trans mafia are taking away kids from parents. And so take a look here. This is clip 5. Wow.
Be aware and prepare.
Yeah, be aware and prepare. Yeah, be aware and prepare. That was a Montana family claims they lost custody of their 14-year-old child after opposing her interest in changing genders. This is for our podcasting people on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I know you couldn't see that, but it was a Montana family. While the governor's office defended the move, it stressed to the Post that the state does not remove minors to provide gender transition services. The state's Child and Family Services reportedly took custody of the teen from her father, Todd Kolstad, and stepmother, Krista, this month, leading the parents to speak out about how the action has destroyed their family and trampled their rights. Yep. Can you imagine, Shelley?
No, I actually can't imagine. This is just one story. I've read maybe 3 or 4 stories, similar situation across our country. This, like you mentioned, this is happening, and more people need to speak out. Parents. Not only that, with that particular couple, they were given a gag order that they violated. Yes, they violated a judge's order to speak out about their daughter who was being transitioned, but without their permission and without their knowledge, because that in that particular case, CPS and the hospital and I'm going to say the courts conspired to have the child taken out of state and put in a home, quote unquote, a gender affirming care, whatever, group home, so that this child can transition to a boy. So parents their children are being basically kidnapped by the government. They are being given gag orders by the courts, and then their children are being taken away from them with no fault, no cause on the parents' part. Again, I ask you, what will get you riled up, okay? What will make you upset enough, if not your children? Not only are they kidnapping, they are literally crunching and rearranging their genitals from their breasts to their penises, their vaginas, calling it whatever they want to call it. But what will get you riled up, if not this? This should not just bring tears to your eyes. It should bring rage in your spirit.
Yeah, I mean, they're experimenting on children. These are experimental drugs. They've been banned throughout Europe. They're experimenting on children. And when parents push back, the trans mafia is taking the kids away. Crystal, I mean, what can parents do?
See?
Oh my.
I'm trying to keep my composure because I'm over there like Shelley, like completely angry. At the same time, I believe that we have a society who doesn't care about their future. I mean, like our society, our government, like people, we just don't care about our future. That this is even a story. First of all, where are you gonna put the children? You gonna put them in the foster care system because that works so well. The foster care system creates beautiful children, right? Like that's what this is almost a joke. Like this is almost a joke that
it's a nightmare.
Well, it to me, I can't even believe that we're even talking about this. I mean, like at what point, like you said, what would get you riled up? Like the fact that they're allowed to do this and there's no public outrage. There's no people from Montana. They're Montana?
That was from Montana.
Montana should be like losing it at this point.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying all night.
I mean, like this should be like headlines because all the parents should be coming out. So I just kind of feel that we are a nation that has abandoned our children and we're going to pay the price for that severely.
Yeah, I mean, in California, a mom, Abigail Martinez, has filed a document offering support for the Coxes. Ms. Martinez lost custody of her teenage daughter, Yaeli, in 2016. Yaeli was put on testosterone by the school system and later died by suicide. I mean, if they're not going to foster care due to these experimental drugs, right?
Or the doctor's knife, the surgeon's knife, having their genitals literally turned inside out. And creating this Frankenstein of young children and calling it a woman or a man when it's none of the sort. It is a Frankenstein that the doctors are experimenting on. And again, we have too many people who are quiet. Am I saying break the law? Absolutely. When it comes to this, because not every damn law should be followed, especially when you have CPS, the medical institutions, the courts telling you parents who know right from wrong, who know better, that your children are another sex when you know you pushed out a boy or a girl. That's what you created. But yet these people, because of their titles and their robes and all of their status, many of you want to look up to them as if they know more than you. They don't. Break the damn laws.
Yeah. I mean, T, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, they're literally creating Play-Doh kids. Oh, wow.
The way KJ says stuff, you guys, you would make something funny that's not funny.
Oh my gosh. It's not funny. We got Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
I'm trying to be quiet over here.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's really, really sad. And I didn't want to really talk a lot because I'm listening to Shelly's rage and Crystal's jokes. But I'm like, this is for some, like we're losing control of our children. Yeah. And I don't know about y'all, but I wish a motherfucker would try to tell me how to raise my child and try to take, it will be, okay, I'm going to use Shelly's word, I'm bombing something. If somebody try to come and tell me that I'm not affirming my child and I know what I pushed out, y'all think y'all saw T, but look, I'm fighting. I'm a fighter. I will punch somebody dead in the face like Charles Barkley said.
Right.
But it's so sad. Like I can't imagine these parents here losing control of their children because they're not delusional.
And then, of course, how they have a gag order. Fuck you, judge. I mean, seriously, you have a gag order. You can't speak out about your own child because the government is doing it. You have no. First Amendment still applies. I don't give a damn what your judge title or wherever you sit, whatever bench you sit on. How about go sitting on a goddamn tack or something? I don't know, having your genitals cut off. Whatever. A gag order? I mean, how can you? No. I mean, just the arrogance of it makes me mad.
We can't sit back.
I mean, I'm serious.
I get it.
I don't even know what to say. It is ludicrous.
We can't sit here and talk about it. Like, we need to get in touch with these parents and figure out how we can support them and how we can help them because we can't let this happen. This can't be happening to our children. We really need to figure this shit out.
This is why I said this election is probably the most monumental election of our lifetime. There are a lot of things online. I mean, on the line. Here in Maryland, they just passed a law for gender affirming treatment would be protected from criminal and civil actions brought by other states under a measure approved Tuesday by the Senate.
paying for it.
They're codifying this stuff into law. This is why elections matter. You know, this is really started under Obama, but Biden took it way beyond.
Biden ain't doing none of this shit. He too damn deranged and delusional. It's the women behind him.
Well, that's what I mean.
Behind him.
That's what I mean.
Doing it.
That is what I mean. And then they have, then from the federal government, they have pushed this down to the states via grants, via money, via all this stuff, and incentivizing the states to continue this madness.
Right. And all of these people on the left talking about, oh, like, how can you support this shit? Like, how can
and
you
then what are you talking about judges and things? You know, these judges are elected by the president, by the governors. Yeah. This is why this matters.
Local elections matter.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So when you have these Democrat, leftist, loony people in office, and they're pushing this. This is an agenda. They're not only pushing it here in America. They have some person I saw in the news in the Biden administration that goes country to country pushing the trans agenda.
Canada pays for the shit. Canada pays for it.
Pays for different countries.
Yeah, they paying for it.
This is how break it down real easy for people who think we are, we may be over the top or whatever. This is basically saying that your minor child that lives in your house, a boy or a girl, right? At any time, the courts, the American courts, the legal system, by way of the school system, CPS, or anyone else that the courts can designate as a guardian ad litem, they can come to you and take your child because you say, no, I gave birth to a boy or I adopted a girl, whatever the sex is. They can say no. Not only that, they can say you have a gag order or we're going to fine you. We're going to put you in all of this legal ramification to hem you up even more because you're speaking out about it. Then the doctors will write notes. The CPS will write notes to the courts. Well, oh, Your Honor, they didn't apply, or they didn't comply, they didn't agree, they didn't do whatever. And you get more fines. It's this vicious cycle. All the while, your child is being experimented on by these same people who want to keep you quiet. This is why we need to speak out.
They're pedophiles.
Yeah, and it's being codified by law, and not only that,
some laws need to be broken.
When they do these, what doesn't matter? Follow the money. When they do these experiments on children, they're being protected against lawsuits. You can usually file a lawsuit against a doctor that gives you a bad breast breast reduction or implants or any other thing. But for abortions, for this transgender care, you can't even file a lawsuit against the doctors. There's laws protecting them against that. This is, it's a grift.
It's a godless society. I would like to think that this is money, but honestly, KJ, to me, it just seems evil. Like these people are just pure and utter evil. Yep. They're pedophiles. We're over-sexualized. And I'm trying to stay quiet and not say what I really think, but I just blame the parents.
Well, I mean, it's not even just about it's definitely about money, but they're creating bafflements. Only thing I know that has a penis and vagina and has next is going to be the fusion of animals, but has males that have breasts. It's a bafflement. That's a evil demonic figure. So we know this comes from evil, from things above, not of this world. We know this. It's already been talked about in the Bible. But still, we need to stand up and push back against it. This is why we do this here on this podcast. We do it to form a community of people who we can go to and talk. You guys are great. We're like-minded. We understand the significance and importance of this time, and we need to stand up against it. Please share this broadcast. Send it in a DM. Definitely continue to comment, like, and share, because we need to get the word out. Yep. Because honestly, I don't think enough people know about this. I still talk to moms. I still talk to moms. I still talk to parents who live in a bubble and do not realize that this is going on. And when I make them aware, when I tell them what's going on, they are shocked and they are on fire about it.
It's definitely demonic and pedophilia, because the first things that you teach your children in order to prevent them being molested or anything are their body parts. To identify their body parts, so that if someone touches them any type of way, then you'll know to be comfortable to tell mommy or daddy that someone's touching. Well, my children, that's what I did. The first thing I would do.
You're having those conversations.
You have those conversations. So for them to take that away,
these parents, y'all,
they're trying to. What you say? What trying to do to our kids?
Making Frankensteins.
I'm sorry. This is not happening to parents who are involved with their kids. And I'm sorry to say it. I had to say it. I was trying to be quiet. You suck as a parent. If this is happening, you suck as a parent.
It's a society, though.
No, you suck as a parent. There's a lot of steps that had to happen before somebody cuts their genitals off. Like you said, the conversations when they were little,
Right.
the conversations about what God made you, the conversations that it doesn't matter. Those conversations are not happening. That's why some idiot, blonde, dumb teacher is able to tell your child that she's a boy.
But I hear you. In this case, these children were taken by the hospital and the court. So the parents were fighting.
We don't know the backstory.
Yeah, she said
but that is a teenager. That is 14. A teenager.
14.
So what you
14.
What you saying?
There was a lot of steps before 14. And I'm not interested in listening to these parents cry and moan and do all of that. What were you doing to that child when they were 5? These children are suffering. And then you wait until they're 14, 15, 16, 17 to try and get in somebody's face. Screw you. Deal with your son, daughter, son. Son, daughter, son. Deal with it.
I just know my children are confused. They know
exactly. What they are. Nobody here is having to deal with that. Why?
Not at all.
Why? No sane parent who is involved in their kids is dealing with this. Shame on you. I'm trying to feel sorry for you, but I don't. I feel sorry for that child.
But we still have to fight.
I feel sorry for the child.
I understand, but we still have to fight against society.
Take it there.
I know. Sorry for the child.
I know people who, for instance, have adopted kids.
Yes.
And you know, when you adopt a child,
they already
many
got
Christians
issues.
adopt children, right, who have issues, and they may deal with different things like this, and they may be in households that were faith-based households, full of love, parents trying to tell them the right
Those are
way.
exceptions.
And
she's not talking about exceptions.
I'm not talking about exceptions.
I understand what Crystal's saying about.
I do too. Yeah, I do.
Because but there is a part of it that we can't put our children in bubbles as much as we want.
I know.
Right? No, I'm saying, right? So they're going to be exposed to some things and influenced by some things, even that go against what we have taught them,
I
right?
agree.
So children, we know they are impressionable, you know, as much as people want to give them the right to vote.
You either believe the Bible or you don't.
It's not that simple,
says,
though.
Yes, it does.
No,
the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. What you guys are saying is the Bible is not true. And the Bible is always true. They don't train these kids.
No. First of all,
They are not training these kids.
First of all,
you wait until they're 14 to try and tell you something.
No. First
you
of
can't
all,
do nothing with no 14.
No, first of all, first of all, the trans issue, what they're not telling you, but what it has been medically documented, a lot of these people that identify as trans are on the spectrum. They have different psychological issues. And so what's happening is the school system is picking up on that, and they're taking advantage of these kids. Now, it may not be something going on in the home.
Right.
You may just have a kid on the spectrum that is easily influenced by a teacher or is told by a teacher, oh, you're supposed to be a girl or you're supposed to be a boy. Parents at home may be saying, no, that's not what we've ever taught our kids. But the kid is a little awkward. The kid is on the spectrum. This is part of, it's medically documented. They're taking advantage.
We have a lot of children coming out of the scandemic who were home, with the issues going on, not necessarily being abused at home, but they had psychological issues.
And I straightened my child out.
I'm saying, but they were exacerbated during that time. So we have a lot of children coming out that are very influential. I mean, it's not always the parents.
Parents don't care about their children, and that's
I agree with you in some cases.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Some
not
cases
in all
too,
not
but
in
not-
all cases.
Especially a parent that's fighting.
That's fighting.
You know, if I see a parent like this, that's fighting.
Exactly.
They're fighting against this. They're going to the school saying, "You can't tell my child this.
Exactly.
This is not right."
They
And the
broke the
school
gag
is
order. They broke the gag order.
and the school is keeping this away from the parents.
Exactly.
I mean, I know some parents. I have a friend of a friend who had a son who was giving off like he was doing things that seemed like serial killer stuff. I mean, and the parents, good parents, they go, mom and dad at home, some things just happen. You don't know. I mean, I do agree with you there as far as you do have bad parents. But when I see people like this mom and dad in Montana, like in California, right, Indianapolis, all these people, I can't automatically blindly say that it's the parents' fault. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So
I don't know.
I
don't know.
And watch what you say. Watch.
Oh, look.
What you say. Let me say this. You live long enough.
Oh yeah.
And
keep living as Peggy.
God will make you bite your tongue.
Let me
No, what I'm saying is
God knows my heart.
All I'm saying is
and this ain't my heart.
All I'm saying is humble yourself.
I'm very humble.
Humble yourself because God will make you bite your tongue. We don't know what these people are going through in their homes. Again, I do understand. I understand that this is, there are bad parents. There are, derelict parents. I am not saying that they aren't, but I will not blanket say that these parents are negligent across the board.
So the ones I think that Crystal is talking about are the ones on the left who are accepting this already.
And the ones
we weren't talking about that.
No, I am talking about the parents who are. Honestly, you guys, it is very hard for me as a believer because I've witnessed a lot of kids. Let me tell you, I've witnessed them. But I believe that the Bible is sure. You train up a child. There's a reason that none of us have. Have we experienced that?
Nope.
No, that's what I'm saying.
This happened. You show me a responsible parent that is taking care of their kids, training them up in the way they should go, that is dealing with this.
And then maybe show you many.
They were born like that, though, Crystal.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
No, I'm not. I don't believe that.
Like I said, you can say you keep living and all of that, but let me tell you, no child of mine, no child of mine, and I want to make sure I go on record. No child of mine is going to decide that they want to be a boy, and I sit there and the state want to take you at 14. Bye. I trained you in the way it should go, and I will not allow that in my house.
And that's what these parents are trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Well,
no, they're not.
All right. Okay. Well, we will continue. I want to acknowledge some of our super chatters tonight. Thank you so much. Cynthia Sanchez said, such great conversations we need to have. Thank you.
Be aware and prepared, Cynthia.
Mark Slater, you're back, Mark. Thank you.
Hey, Mark.
Oh, hey, Mark.
North Carolina.
He says preach. We got one more. Who was that? Anna P. I love you guys' channel, and this is the first time I've caught it live. Something off topic, but please send out prayers for Mahogany Jackson's family. She was kidnapped and brutally murdered in Birmingham, Alabama, and the MSM is not covering it. I'm sorry about that, Anna. Thank you.
We'll look into that story and talk about it. Yeah.
Oh my God, praying for her.
Yes.
I can imagine that
yes,
either.
indeed.
I hope it wasn't an illegal immigrant.
Oh, well.
Thank you all.
All right, absolutely. So
Cynthia. Did we get Cynthia?
Yes, Cynthia Sanchez. We did. So we are at the end of our time. We are going to try to come on tomorrow night. So we hope you guys can join us as we break down the State of the Union by the Resident in Chief. bumbling Biden. All right, so we're going to try to come back on here tomorrow. So please be on the lookout for that that show, and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so that way you know when we go live. All right. So again, continue the conversation by checking us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and please subscribe. We are building a community here of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people. That is you. That is all of us. So please join us by subscribing, sharing this broadcast. Each time you do that, it helps to send out a rallying cry to our people. Remember, we're be aware and prepared. That's what we're doing. We're no longer trying to convince people of the truth. Right now, we're just talking to lions, and that's you guys. So, yeah, absolutely. All right. Again, you can check us out on our website at www.popandpoliticslive.com. We look forward to seeing you hopefully tomorrow night. Until then, count your blessings and live a life of purpose.
Buy a t-shirt and wear it.
Yes, this is our merch. We have merch, guys. Go on and buy something. Yeah, this is another way to push us out, push the word out, and keep us going. So be aware and prepare, and you can get your mugs there and your t-shirts. All right.
And write us for sponsorship.
Yes.
We love money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to sponsor, if you want to also broadcast your company or your product, send us an email, and we will certainly take a look, and maybe we can push you guys out.
I'm trying.
All right.
No, it's not doing it.
Oh, yeah. We try. Oh, there it is. All right. Well, good night.
Be aware and prepare.